You ever have a day where the universe just lines up every absurd thing it can, stacks it right in your driveway, and dares you not to laugh? That was me standing out there on a Saturday morning, coffee steaming in my hand, sun just peeking up over the cul-de-sac, when trouble in a pantsuit and knockoff Ray-Bans started marching my way. You ever seen a woman so determined to enforce community values that you could hear her heels clicking like a warning siren? Yeah, meet Karen, our local HOA vigilante clipboard, always cocked and loaded. I was minding my own business, giving my Harley a little love chrome so clean you could check your teeth in it, when here comes this kid, about 10 hairs sticking out like he just wrestled a raccoon, zooming up the street on a scooter. Behind him, Karen strutting like she owns not just the sidewalk, but probably the air above it too. She stops at the end of my drive, shades still on eyes narrowed like she's deciding whether to call the CDC or just the neighborhood watch. She doesn't even say good morning, just jumps straight to it. "Excuse me, my son wants to ride your motorcycle." Just like that, like she's asking for a stick of gum. I thought maybe I heard her wrong. I just stared. She says it again, nodding toward my Harley like it's a pony ride at the zoo. I say as polite as I can, "Sorry, ma'am, that's not going to happen. It's not safe." She goes, "Well, I'll be supervising." I have to laugh. I mean, what is she going to do? Catch the bike if it falls? Still a no from me. And that's when the Karen switch flips. Her whole posture goes stiff, voice sharper than a wet cat. Some people just don't know how to be neighborly. She huffs, grabbing her kid and storming off, heels popping on the pavement like popcorn in the microwave. I should have known it wouldn't end there, but I gave myself a little mental high five and went back to the garage. Figured the drama quota was met for the morning. Nope. About an hour later, I see flashing lights in my driveway. 2 squad cars. No sirens, but every neighbor within 3 houses peeking through the blinds like it's a Netflix special. The cops step out, all official hands on their belts, and I get that sinking feeling. One cop walks up, face serious. "Sir, we got a call about a disturbance minor involved possible aggression." I almost spit out my coffee. "Are you kidding me?" But I see he's not. "Name," he asks. Now here's the part you can't make up. I just look at him and say, "Chief Anderson." Pause. "I am the police." The younger cop's face priceless, like he just bit into a lemon. I pull out my badge, hand it over. The older cop, a guy I know from back at the station, just shakes his head and starts grinning. "Chief, you're the disturbance." I shrug. "Guess so." Apparently I'm a menace with a microfiber cloth. They're barely keeping it together when who comes power walking up the sidewalk, but Karen herself dragging her son like he's evidence. "Officers," she calls out. That's him. He yelled at my son and refused to share his bike, completely unacceptable in a family neighborhood. The young officer tries not to laugh. "Ma'am, that's Chief Anderson, our police chief." For a half second, you could hear a squirrel breathe. She blinks, looks at my badge, looks back at me, and you can almost see her brain rebooting. You're the police chief?" she stammers. "Yes, ma'am," I say. The sergeant chips in. And refusing to let a child ride a 1200cc motorcycle isn't just legal, it's the definition of common sense. Her face goes so red, I'm pretty sure you could toast a marshmallow on it. She tries to salvage her pride. "Well, I didn't know you don't have to be rude." I keep it cool. "Ma'am, you called 911 because someone didn't let your kid sit on their motorcycle. That's not what emergency services are for." By now, the neighbors are creeping outside phones, out ready to make it a viral moment. Karen crosses her arms, tries one last hail. "Mary, this is harassment. I'll be taking this to the HOA." I nod. "You do that, and I'll be at the next meeting. We'll talk about community spirit." The officers are openly laughing now. Karen spins on her heel, muttering about respect and setting bad examples, trailing her son behind her like a storm cloud. I turn to the cops. "You guys go, I'll file the paperwork myself." They salute half joking and peel out. I'm left there shaking my head thinking this will be one for the memoir. But you think that's the end? Not with Karen. Nope, she's just getting warmed up. A week later, after a long day at the station, I come home to find a neon orange notice slapped on my garage violation unauthorized vehicle display. I nearly choke laughing. My bike in my own driveway. According to Karen's latest crusade, my Harley is an eyesore. I call the HOA office, half expecting someone to say it's a prank. The receptionist sighs. Sir, there are 3 reports here, all from Let Me Check Mrs. Karen Templeton, of course. I do it by the book, formal appeal, pictures of my bike, everything neat and tidy. But before the board even gets around to meeting, I get another notice. Now she's accusing me of intimidating the HOA leadership. Guess if you're the police chief and you smile, it's a threat. Could have made this all disappear with a phone call, but honestly, I'm curious just how far is she willing to go? Didn't have to wait long to find out. 2 days later, a neighbor sends me a video, Karen right out front filming herself ranting about abuse of power and neighborhood safety. She even starts a petition to have me investigated by the city. Our town runs on gossip, so this becomes headline news. But what Karen doesn't know is everyone at City Hall already has her number. She's called animal control on a bird feeder, reported the Smiths for fireworks, once tried to fine the Johnsons for excessive Christmas lights. So when her petition lands on my desk, yeah, I'm the one who gets to review it. I read every word right down to her loopy signature and blurry photos of me polishing my Harley, then stamp it, no action needed, and file it away. Next stop, the infamous HOA meeting. I show up off duty but badge on my belt just to keep things honest. The clubhouse is packed, standing room only. You can smell the drama in the air, everyone buzzing, waiting to see who's going down tonight. Karen's front and center, stacks of paper fanned out like she's a lawyer on TV. Mr. Fields, the HOA president, taps the mic nervously. Next on the agenda, complaints from Mrs. Templeton against Chief Anderson. I swear you could hear the popcorn popping in people's heads. Karen Stan's voice all sugar and spice. Our community prides itself on safety, respect, and cooperation, but lately certain individuals have disregarded our values using intimidation tactics, refusing to participate in the neighborhood spirit. She throws her hand out toward me like a stage magician. Some neighbors nod, some roll their eyes. Mr. Fields sighs and asks if I'd like to respond. I stand up, keep it short. Thanks, Mr. Fields. Folks, about a week ago, Mrs. Templeton called the police, that's me, because I wouldn't let her 10-year-old ride my motorcycle. Since then, I've gotten multiple violation notices and a formal complaint all about that same thing. For the record, the city investigated and found nothing wrong. I hold up the petition, big red stamp, no action needed. I'm all for community involvement, but wasting everyone's time and resources over a personal grudge, that's not cooperation, that's harassment. The room breaks into applause. The HOA president actually laughs. Karen tries to start in again, but no one's listening. Mr. Fields clears his throat. In light of this, the board has voted to revoke Mrs. Templeton's disciplinary privileges and issue a formal warning for misuse of authority. Gasps, a couple whispers, but mostly relief. Karen gathers her papers, face tight, and storms out so fast her heels almost catch fire. As people start filing out, a few shake my hand. One guy says, "Chief, you ought to run the HOA." I laugh. No thanks. I deal with enough crazies at work. Standing there finally alone, I just let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. Sometimes justice looks like chrome in the sunshine and a little common sense. But here's the real question. Where do you draw the line between community spirit and just plain nosiness? Ever had a neighbor go full Karen on you? Drop your wildest HOA story, or just tell me where you're watching from. If you want to see more justice served hot and fresh, hit like, share your thoughts, and don't forget to subscribe.